This video is going to teach you how to add fractions with unlike denominators. So let's say we have a half plus a third. They are different denominators. Now the first thing you need to know is whenever you add or subtract, you need the same denominator. So obviously they're not. We need to do something about that. And the second thing you need to know is whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom because we have to be fair, especially with fractions. So they are unlike. So the first thing I would need to do is make them the same. My thing is I just multiply this number by the opposite one and this number by that one. That way you get the same denominator. So this side I'm going to multiply by 3, and this side I'm going to multiply by 2. And like I said before, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So over here, I'm going to multiply 3 because that's what I did at the bottom. Over here, I'm going to multiply by 2 because that's what I did at the bottom. So now I'm going to equal my new fraction. So 2 times 3 gave me 6. 1 times 3 gave me 3. Over here, 2 times 3 gave me 6. And 1 times 2 gave me 2. I have the same denominator. That means I can add now. So very simply, 3 plus 2 gives me 5 out of 6. That's how you add fractions with unlike denominators. Now let's take a look at how to subtract fractions with unlike denominators. So let's say we have the same problem, a half take away a third. Different denominators. Again, whenever you add or subtract, you need the same denominator, and whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. So this number I'm going to multiply by 3, and this side I'm going to multiply by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I'm going to do to the top. So this one is also times 3, and this one I'm going to times 2. I'm going to give my new fraction here. So 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2, and when I subtract it, because they're the same denominator, I can subtract, and 3 take away 2 is equal to 1, so this is my answer. Now I want to say that multiplying fractions with unlike denominators is the easiest thing in the world, because all you have to remember is we multiply straight across. That's all you need to know. When you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. So straight across and straight across, that would give me 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6, voila. Now with dividing fractions with unlike denominators, there's 3 keywords you need to know: keep, switch, and flip. What do I mean by that? Let's say we have this problem. Okay, what I'm going to do is keep the first fraction, switch the operation, and flip the second fraction. So now that I have a multiplication problem, like I said before, it's the easiest thing in the world. You multiply straight across. So what I get, my final answer, is 1 times 2, which is 2. 4 times 1, which is 4. My answer is 2/4. But there's one more thing you need to know about dividing fractions, or fractions in and of themselves. Fractions are division problems. So if you have something like 98 over 9, this problem, or this fraction, is a division. Because if you ever notice, division, the symbol looks like that. And that dot represents a number, number line number. Kind of looks like your fraction. It's because it is, okay? So, let me show you. 98 divided by 9 is the same as this fraction. So division problems can be written as fractions. In addition, if I were to solve it, the 98 goes inside division symbol. So I have this, and all I have to do now is solve it step by step. Ask myself, does 9 go into 9? Yes, it goes into it 1 time. Okay, so after that, I bring down the next number. Okay, does 9 go into 8? No, it doesn't. And the number for no, it doesn't is 0. Okay, so since I didn't do anything, I took away nothing, I still have 8. Now I have no more numbers to multiply. This essentially becomes my remainder. Well, if it's your remainder, this one becomes your new numerator and the denominator stays the same. So my answer is 10 wholes based on my division, and this 8 is the remainder, so 8 over 9. So my answer is 10 and 8 over 9. But what happens when I need to add, subtract, multiply, or divide a fraction that is a mixed fraction? When a fraction doesn't look like a regular fraction that I've shown you, if it looks something like this, well, then you need to convert it first. And with converting, I'm going to draw a C from the bottom. I need to convert it. What I mean by that is you need to multiply the 3 times 2, which gives you 6, and then you add the 1. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so I have 7 ending at the top, and my denominator stays the same. Now that fraction looks like all the problems that I did with addition, subtraction, multiplying, and dividing fractions. And I can do any of the operation with my improper fraction. So anytime you come across a mixed fraction, the first thing you have to do is convert it so it makes your life a little easier.